One is on the journey from 1 to 10 million. A lot of companies can make it to 1, and 1 in 40,000 companies makes it to 10, which is, some pretty significant odds in doing that. And part of the reason for that is there are 3 strategic shifts that happen in order to do that. And it's at 3 different points. So, kind of there's one from 1 to 3, there's another one somewhere between 5 and 7, and then again from 7 to get to 10. And so it's really making sure that you're making those pivots and doing it right, because the things that you're doing to get from 0 to 1 will not get you from 1 to 3. The things that you do from 1 to 3 will not get you from 3 to 5 or 7. And so it's making some fundamental shifts along the way. So that's one of the reasons that we've really focused there. And then we have a mastermind that is for those that are 10 million and beyond, so kind of 10 to 50 million plus. And again, you're dealing with some very different things. The challenges you have at 5 million are far different than what you have at 10 or 15 or 20. And, just thinking about that and thinking about it in different ways and being able to process that. If you're running a $20 million company, you probably have a board. There are certainly things that you don't want to talk about with your board. You want to have, some external advice. You want to have some people around that you can kind of bounce some ideas off of. Say, hey, I'm thinking about this. Am I thinking right? What am I missing? So that you can go back and have, more intelligent conversations with your board. So I think that's really, really helpful for a lot of our leaders in those ranges.
Yeah, and I can imagine, to me, all aspects of entrepreneurship, but I can imagine like you start to use that number, only 40,000 make it to 10 million. I imagine that you start to probably feel, and the only word that's kind of coming up to me is like isolated. You feel like you're the only one, along that journey. So that's why I feel like I love everything that you're doing, because I feel like you're probably having those same conversations. You're probably masterminding on some of the same problems, and you're realizing there is, light at the end of the tunnel. And frankly, you're
Yes.
not the only one going through whatever it is as well, which I think is extremely powerful.
Right, right. And I think that's really true. I mean, we're in the most connected society maybe ever in history, but yet we're the most isolated. And I think you take entrepreneurs or CEOs and you put them into a separate category as well of extreme isolation. Because other people don't understand what it is they do. They don't understand. And I hear this all the time. I talk to my friends and they just don't get it. Or I talk to my family and they try and be supportive, but they don't get it because they aren't there. They haven't done it. But when you can get around other people that are in that same boat and that do get it, magic happens. And you find out that the problems you're experiencing, they're not unique. They're not just you. There are other people that are experiencing the same things, and we can overcome those together and move forward and make progress and solve them. And not every solution works. And so it's when you run up against those and you have a solution, you go try it and it doesn't work. Well, then you can go back and we can try something else. We can iterate, we can work together, and we can see, because the market changes really fast as well.